For a few minutes, let go of your thoughts. Let them move to the background and notice what it feels like in your body right now. Notice the whole of your body from head to toes. And notice what's in that space that your body's occupying. Sensations, sense perceptions, muscle, contraction or pain, maybe nerves, digestion's going on, breathing. What's happening in that space? And notice where your attention is drawn. It might be up to your thoughts again. It might be something in your body. Maybe you're noticing that you're kind of holding your breath. And then you could let that soften, let it be more continuous and smooth. Notice the whole back of your body. Are you able to relax your neck and shoulders, your arms and legs? Quite often we're kind of primed for action. And then when we notice, that's an opportunity to let ourselves rest instead of being ready to leap into action. Again, it's those thoughts in the mind that often drive this preparedness in the body, this hypervigilance. So it really is a circle. Everything affects the other. Notice your belly. Notice what it's like to breathe right now. When we're relaxed and we feel safe, our breath is continuous and smooth. When we're afraid, we often hold our breath. It's kind of short or jerky, choppy. And these are patterns and habits that develop in the body. So we might have a carryover from our whole life to date, really. And as you relax and soften through your stomach and lower belly, let the breath become deeper and smoother. And when you notice the space of your body from head to toes and what's happening in that space, it's a bit different, even just in a few minutes. You might be noticing the movement of your belly, your body as you breathe. Maybe your neck and shoulders are a bit softer than they were. You've come down off alert a little bit. Bring your attention up to your head and your face. Notice your eyebrows, your forehead, your eyes. Let that soften. Notice your mouth and your jaw, your throat, your vocal cords, the whole apparatus of speech. And we could let all that rest as well. And then come back to being aware of your whole body, head to toes. Notice the flow of air in your nostrils. Notice as you breathe in, which nostril feels cooler. That would be your active nostril. And notice your out breath is warmer. Notice the rhythm and pace of your breath. And notice that a part of your mind is observing that flow of breath in your nostrils. And then bring your attention in as though you're looking from the back of your head towards your forehead. And so you're kind of right behind your brain. And from here, we can observe the thoughts that are coming and going in the mind. Notice as you're just getting started, kind of getting yourself set up, so to speak, that usually there's no thoughts at all for a few seconds or several seconds. Thoughts generally appear just behind the forehead or somewhere in that area. And when we start to watch, they're like a child that notices they're being watched, they'll usually stop for a moment. Just maintain your awareness of your body and your breath. And that right now, for the next few minutes, we're going to look at thought. We're going to watch thought. The idea is to stay as a witness. And that's not going to happen perfectly, probably. We're going to have some thoughts that are going to take us into a train of thought. Whenever you notice that, just bring yourself back, kind of orient to watching from the back of your head on that kind of screen just behind the forehead. And as you're noticing thought and noticing your attention on thought, we can see that there's various types of thoughts and we have different responses to them. So if you have thoughts that are kind of neutral, often they'll just be kind of in the back of your mind. They're not really intense, or you don't really even notice them hardly. They're kind of quiet. It might be something like reminding yourself to do something, or some little memory that came up that doesn't have a lot of punch to it. And notice that we don't direct our thoughts. I mean, sometimes we'll do a practice of directing our thoughts, but when we're just watching, thoughts just come in kind of randomly. They might center around a theme of something we're thinking about, or especially if we're disturbed or anxious about something, but we don't plan our thoughts. Just notice as you're watching your thoughts, there'll be another gap. Notice the variety: positive, negative, lots of intensity, hardly any. It's subject matter. And when we're observing, witnessing thoughts, notice if you're giving yourself any kind of criticism or judgment around how it's happening. Sometimes when our mind is really wandering, we get kind of frustrated. And if there's anything like that, if you're shaming yourself even a little bit, see if you could let that go. This is just a practice of observing what is. There's no wrong or right way to do this. And I suppose ideally we'd be focused 100% on watching, but that's not the nature of the mind. Notice sometimes we're resting, sometimes we're engaged. Notice how you bring yourself back, if you can do that with kindness. And then for a few minutes, we'll be a little bit more directive. Notice the flow of air in your nostrils and see if you can keep your attention really finely focused on that. Notice the warmth as you breathe out, the coolness as you breathe in, and let your mind really focus on that flow of breath. Let thoughts move to the background. Focus on this now instead. And notice what was happening in your mind over the last couple of minutes. Often having a focus helps our mind to steady itself, whether it's a relaxation or the breath or the sound. And then keeping this breath awareness, but also bringing in thought again. And this time, really focus on the gaps or the silence between thoughts. So a thought will come in, you'll notice it. And then as it goes back into silence, sharpen your focus just on the silence. Really be aware of that. In the background, you could be aware of the flow of breath in your nostrils too. That's also very stabilizing. And if your mind wanders off, bring it back to noticing the silence between thoughts. And then let go of the practice. And before we finish, review in your mind what just happened during the practice and what you might have noticed about your mind, about your thoughts, about that whole experience. And in particular, if there's anything that you weren't expecting. What did you learn about your thoughts and that process during the practice? And then when you're ready, finish the practice and open your eyes.